Okay, so today I have a bunch of stuff I want to talk about, so I try to write it down. I have so many things I want to talk about from these movies I've been watching because it is so much about, about our society. But anyways, I want to start though, kind of update with my daughter. So I feel like I'm like super tired, but we won't talk about how much sleep I don't get. I'm doing great though. I'm fine. Maybe that's just part of you get older. Maybe I got a recliner now. I just got to get into this. Come down here and just taking a nap in my recliner in the day. Okay. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. So yesterday it was funny because the daughter who had moved out, she had started calling me and stuff now, and she's doing really good, and I'm just really excited for her, because she was really, really, she was, I don't know. I mean, really, we don't know. Nobody knows what's inside somebody else. It's all in how I perceive her actions, Like if she's out here saying, I hate you. I hate you, you stupid bitch. I'm taking it as she hates me and she thinks I'm a stupid bitch. But, she's processing something or whatever. And this is something that I really noticed too. And I think it's important for us all because we make things worse, we become reactive. So she could, to me, she can have these reactions. I could see, something's going on with her. And I could detach myself and know, hey, this isn't me. She's triggered by me. Yeah, it hurts my feelings. It hurts my feelings at everything I do. Annoys the fuck out of her. But, I can see this is something that's in her, that she needs to work through. And, so I was definitely the wrong person to try and give her guidance, although as my whole platform is about healing and, working towards your best self or whatever, but unveiling yourself to you. So, but any of my methods, it wasn't what she needed, she needed to be separate from me or whatever. And so anyways, her getting to leave, which, is totally empowering to her, when and I'm sure a lot of her anger was just her feeling so trapped and being angry and thinking somehow, I had failed as a mom or she would be in a better position in life. And that is all about us taking responsibility for ourselves and noticing, like, no, I made those choices. I made that choice. My parents weren't standing behind me holding a gun. You better do this. I mean, some parents, are very controlling. We'll get to that in a second because I have something else to say about that. But so, anyways, I could have, jumped right on that bandwagon. She's angry at me. I get way angrier at you. And plus in my head, which she knows, if it's because that energy, that negative energy wants to feed these negative thoughts. So when I'm sitting here, stewing on like, I'm paying for things. Oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And you don't care, in my brain, and mastering my emotions of like, I'm not going to react. Yeah, I get it. I may see things in this way, but she's not seeing it in this way. She's seeing something completely different. She's living a different reality than I am. And what good is it going to do for me to sit here and say, get mad over certain things that to me seem like a fair give and take? So, but she wasn't in that place, so I could have gotten really mad, and I could have been screaming and yelling. I could have been just as reactive as her. And, we could have gone to fucking blows. We could have ended the day just punching each other in the face. Oh, I hate you. Because it happens. That's what happens. We blow shit up. We blow the fucking shit up. We get mad. We get reactive. We're just, how dare you think this of me? How dare you say this of me? And, but I feel like me, keeping my shit together, not going into these battles and remembering to stay centered, somebody can think I'm crazy, It can make me start doubting in my head. I can be sitting there going, well, I guess I definitely start being like, yeah, I am crazy. In this reality, I am definitely a crazy person. No doubt about it. I mean, she's not wrong. She's not wrong to think I'm crazy. As a mom, to have your kids think you're crazy, yeah, it's very hurtful. It's like, so all the good things in you, I didn't have any part of that. I'm just the nutcase out back. I was like, okay. Yeah, how did the racist, whatever, all these, labels I suddenly got, how did the racist Republican, how did they raise you to be so liberal and progressive? I don't know how that happened. But, I had some help with the indoctrination camps and the programming activation that goes on in our lives. But anyways, I just feel like, that me just holding back and just staying centered was something that I needed to learn too. Can you handle it? Can you handle someone in your face telling you that you're stupid asshole or whatever? And especially when you have that kind of like, you're supposed to love me, you're supposed to care about me kind of feeling, and to be like, hey, that's your business, that's your problem, I'm sorry, if you really feel that way, you should really get away from me. And I said that a lot of times, and I don't know, how she was taking it, because we don't know. Because to me, like I said, I was taking things as like, she legitimately hates me. I mean, she hates me. I don't know what I ever did in her life, but somehow I failed her along the way. And you can't do anything to change it. The past is the past. The past is to teach us so we can learn to grow for ourselves and to claim our own power in our own lives, So to me, it it was a lot of my growing and my own, it was like a gift also for me to learn how to remain composed, to and that's not to hide my emotions, because that is kind of what we've done. A lot of people have stuffed their emotions, hidden their emotions, brought themselves to be lesser than. But to be able to stay in your power, but to release somebody else's opinion of you, it's a part of our empowerment, I believe, and it's a part of our progression as independent sovereign beings. So I think it's very powerful to be able to be around somebody who is saying that they hate you. And it was, knowing in my heart that was going to cause her pain later. Like I said, there was a lot of things I just stopped talking to certain people because I knew they were going to be, filling their bags with a lot of ammunition that was going to be really causing them a lot of pain later when they had to face themselves, because I knew for a long time that it was all leading to people having to face themselves. Everybody was going to have to see themselves clearly. And, because this is all about our healing. This is about our evolution as consciousness. That is how we make it to the age of Aquarius. So anyways, I thought that was really important. And it's important for, for me to share this, because I think it's important for us to all remember to stay centered. Don't get caught up. And this is going to be going, I think, for a while. People purging out their pain and directing it at other people, and emotions being unstable, so stay centered in your own self, and nobody else's opinion really matters. It's your opinion of you that matters most, because it's your experience that you are going through. It's your lessons that you're being given. And in every relationship, there's a teacher and a learner, so you're the good guy, bad guy over and over and over. So, you got to accept, this person, was affected by these things that I didn't recognize, just like as a parent, even if you're the perfect parent and you've got more than one kid, even if you could be the perfect parent from that one kid, which I think is, even the odds of that, I think is most only children have got a lot of issues to work through. But even if you could be the perfect parent for, you have several kids, you wouldn't be for every single one. It's just mathematically impossible. It's just not the sole purpose. Your sole purpose is to be dealt that hand so you can overcome and learn. And you get obstacles along the way to remind you of who you are. And a lot of reminding who you are is the balance of who you aren't. So you can see who you aren't all the time to figure out who you are. So anyways, the thing that was really cool, so, she started talking to me. I just gave her space when she left. I was just like, she'll start talking to me when she's ready. I mean, I don't know how much, anger and, that she has towards me, and how she, how this is all going, I don't know. And I also remember I kept saying about the TikTok spirituality, and how it was very frustrating because they are not, the focus isn't about healing. The focus is just about the tools, like, do this, walk in nature, do your vibration, do your affirmations, all of that stuff, which is important. But if you only are doing that, it's going to fail you. You're going to keep feeling like, why do I keep hitting a wall? Why do I keep hitting a wall? Why am I not feeling better? Why is it so temporary? I feel good for a minute. And because, the healing. So that is, kind of irritated me. But I'm not going to get all caught up in it, like, oh, police, all of the Instagram spiritual spiritual community, because I was even doing the TikTok one. I was trying to get my message out there in 3 minutes or less. So, and I'm sure a lot of people have great intentions, but the thing is I am seeing I was wrong. I shouldn't have been saying, judging that. There is a purpose, and there's a significant purpose to it, and it is helping my daughter a lot, because she is telling me how much her breath work is is really helping to help keep her calm, and she's really noticing about health. And there's a whole bunch of stuff on TikTok where people show about different foods and natural ways to heal your body, and she really is getting the thing now where she's getting that, oh, so my body really is being affected by these toxins. We're just, all we do is eat toxins and drink toxins all day long. And a natural body, of course, is going to be interfered and have reverberations popping into my head. But it's not reverberation, but it's the same kind of, have an effect. If you are filling something natural with chemicals, I mean, we could do any experiment all day long. You do science experiments with your kids, and you start putting chemicals on something natural, and it's going to interfere. So, that's what we're dealing with, and that's why our health is super serious to focus on. And the realizing that, you're a damn experiment, and you have been the whole time. This isn't new. This is just because it's being exposed to us, and we have to see the truth. We can't stay hidden. We can't keep our heads buried in the sand forever. And, which, by the way, watching these movies, one of them, it has a thing, is very 80s, and perms. Every freaking girl has got a perm in this movie. And I remember I've got plenty of pictures. I can go back and look at my permed hair. And perms were really a thing. And then also, look at all these color treatments. And the thing is always remember your hair is your antenna. So when they are, creating this death to our hair, it's like, we're going around cutting the antenna off of all the ants. So you got to remember, you are interfering, and when you are doing all those chemical treatments to your hair. And so it's no surprise, like, people are doing tons of perms, and then running out and just having sex and doing lines of cocaine. That was that era, that decade. But people were like, they didn't have that spiritual connection, because like back in the 70s, then everybody was like all hippie and, oh man, it just don't matter. And everybody was just so much more laid back. And then the 80s became super intense, but yeah, we were frying our hair, so we weren't tuned into the Holy Spirit. So anyways, that was just a little tidbit I wanted to throw in there. I didn't want to forget that. Because I've talked a lot about that with your hair being an antenna. And in the real society, you can look up about that. So anyways, so I wanted to, confess my own ignorance to the whole thing with the spirit, the quick fix spiritual movement, because it is being effective. It is giving her tools, and I'm sure it's giving lots of people tools. So then when the work starts, that they're ready. So they're filling their toolbox, basically, for what's to come. Oh, and I've got there's so many things I want to say. But okay, so this thing I'll which I thought was really kind of cool. So she is, messages me yesterday, and there was some TikTok trend or something. I can't get on TikTok. I could see if you send me an exact thing, but otherwise they don't let me like, share, look at any. I mean, I can look at something, but I can't go in and see like comments. I can't, I'm really limited. And she was like trying to come up with these different ways. Well, you could go, get a different phone number and start a new account, all this stuff. And, I'm like, yeah, but, it's like, why would I support this? I mean, they just ripped shit right out of my hands. Like, they're so, why would I support them? Is how I feel in my heart. I was at over 15,000, just in a couple months, followers, and it was going up hundreds a day, thousands a day on the likes. It was, it was really going full steam ahead. And the YouTube one, goes so much slower, especially when you come into it already being monitored or whatever they do, censored, whatever the hell they do to us. So I have to be super careful. I can't go around spilling the beans on shit. I gotta be careful and be focused on what my real true message is. What the stuff is that they tell me, because that's the stuff that they want out there for people. They want people to have, have the tools and have direction of how to heal. And, I had to go through the experience so I can say it with conviction because I'm a survivor of traumas and stuff like that. And I've had to heal. I've had to, find it inside myself. So, anyways, there's this TikTok trend or something. And it was, my mom, your mom might have been a Karen, but my mom was blah, 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 whatever your mom's name is, right? And you show like, I guess the silly side of them or something. And so she made a video of that. I didn't even know, like she had all these different footage of like, she's just sitting here videotaping me and I didn't even know. So she has me doing all sorts of like, I don't know, silly things, but I'm just like that way anyways. I mean, it wasn't like me turning something on. It's just who I am. And she got a bunch of little videos of it. And so she made this video TikTok thing. And it is my mom. Your mom might be a Karen, but my mom's a, but I had it. No, you might have had, your mom might have been a Karen, but I had a Kelly. I think that's what it's called. And then her to have to go in and do that, that is, you have to go to a place of love, a deep place of love, even, no matter what, even if she was wanting to jump on the bandwagon, for a fun thing or whatever, a fun trend or whatever. But, to go in and make that video, to even think of your mom in that way, that was really moving to me. I was like, oh my gosh. And I went in and watched the video and it was really, I was laughing so hard. I was crying. I was like, oh my gosh. Cause I don't mind looking silly. And and I just made me feel really good. Like, oh my gosh, because, she leaves here. I'm feeling like she hates me. I don't know what I did in her life to make her hate me so much, but then she gets away from me and she's just back to being this like, just regular and, making a video that kind of is, showing my quirkiness, I guess. But anyways, I guess it just blew up. I tried to get it and share it so I could share it so you guys could see it. But they won't let me. TikTok won't let me do anything. So I couldn't do that. But anyways, I guess it's gone viral or something. And but the thing is so the comments, people were just going crazy over this. And I thought it was so funny because everybody's like, oh, I had a Karen, I want a Kelly. And everybody was like, oh, I love your mom. And they're just going through saying all of these nice things about me, which, I have another daughter who's not speaking to me and who hasn't spoken to me since the beginning of this. Because as soon as I said that, the Trump dog was not a crazy racist, rapist, whatever, all the stuff they were saying. As soon as I said, no, that stuff's not true. Yeah, it was a big thing in my family, really big thing. And it's been long lasting. But anyways, they were like, I wonder what she's thinking about this, because there was so much positivity coming in the comments about me, you know, to the point where Jordan started being like, well, she's, you know, she's not perfect. she's she's a regular person. Like, which is true. I mean, we're all just regular people. We all do stupid shit. And we all have fun sides. I mean, we're multifaceted, all of us. And, you know, some people have a hard time showing that side to their kids. They have a hard time showing that side to themselves. A lot of people were just like, you know, I was their new role model. That's the mom I want to be, with all the tattoos and all this stuff. And so I just thought, you know, that was really sweet. But then after she's just getting, you know, thousands of these comments, then she started getting some more like, oh, well, my mom had a really hard life, and so why don't you just throw it up in our faces? Like, she was trying to make people feel bad. And she was started getting a lot of that, where she was having to go in and say, hey, my mom also was raised by alcoholics and, you know, a pedophile and stuff. So she also had a lot of struggle, and she's built herself up. She's, you know, she's overcome her struggles to find, you know, to choose joy, to choose happiness over focusing on my pain and suffering. But I'm processing the pain and suffering. I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to pretend like that's not going on. No, I had to face it full on. You can't pretend like it's not going on. You can't pretend like you don't have pain and suffering. It's going to just constantly keep coming at you full force at this point, because this is what this time in our existence is about. So it's relentless. Whatever messages that the universe is bringing you are going to just be like pounding you until you get on board, until you pay attention, until you remember, you know. So anyways, I thought that was really cool, because to me that was like, look at the universe is like showing her through her that she really does like me, you know, that I have some good parts. And, you know, I think ultimately she will see I was focusing on, you know, the things I didn't like instead of focusing on the things I do like. And we all do that. And this is part of this transformation, is consciousness, to get to that place for ourselves, because it is so much more healing. You just feel so much better when you start focusing on what you do want instead of what you don't want. And then plus it just changes, like, because that is manifesting. That is what you bring to you, is what you feel you deserve. And it's super important to be focused on what you really want. And it all boils down to how you feel about yourself. And if you feel unworthy, then, you know, you're going to not claim your stake, not claim who you are in your life. You're going to just try and conform to what others want you to be, because you want to make other people happy, because you're desperate to be loved. And, you know, you have to find that love inside yourself. And it all comes from accepting yourself and stopping judging yourself, and to, you know, be easier on yourself. And it is, you know, it's something that has not been a part of our world at all. So, you know, I think it kind of started, though. It started seeping in. What was that guy? I think he used to be, I know I feel like he's dead now, but maybe he was that Congress guy who was speaking out against the one thing, but then there's came footage that he was, what is that guy's name? But the character, he would always do all those affirmations, and then he would always be looking in the mirror. You are a good person. You are so special. You know, I can't remember. It was a character, and it became like a thing. That is when I first remember where it started being like, talk nice to yourself. Before that, you know, I mean, it was way more of a mean girls scenario, you know. Bunch of girls lined up in a mirror looking at themselves going, oh my God, I'm so horrible. I'm not perfect. I'm so ugly. Oh, you know. just beating ourselves down, not learning how to love ourselves. And it's so funny because I think, in our world, I think that we have, typical, and we kind of have, more of a atypical or unusual kind of face and features. And so typical, is somebody who just looks like everybody else, of the different ethnicities or something, because there's something different even with that. Like people looking at, say like a white person looking at an Asian person or something, and they're just like, oh, they all look alike. Well, and then they think that about us, but it is because we know of certain features to define for ourselves over people. And you do that somehow culturally or something, like everybody recognizes the difference in their own, what is that called? Your own race, your own culture or whatever. I'm not sure. But whatever defines you of, your color and where you are or whatever. The ones that more are matching will recognize the small differences, but the rest of us, everybody just kind of looks alike. Well, that would be like a typical face, right? You just kind of scan the room and it's very typical, like everybody just kind of looks alike. And then you have like an atypical or unusual, and those ones, they'll catch your eye. They're unusual. Like you want to study them for a second. They are interesting, more fascinating. And, for so long, we have had people feel shame for that, to be different, to feel shame to be unusual. And really, it's exciting. It's exciting. Like you go into a field of clovers that's 3 leaves and you find a 4-leaf, woo, you make history. So, why do we think the unusual is something's wrong with it instead of embracing it? And, a lot of people, they think if you're looking at them, it's because you find them ugly or unattractive, or, like you're just dumbfounded with their hideousness. And, why don't we just be like, fuck, I'm unusual looking. Yeah, you better fucking look. I'm fascinating. When we get more into that kind of area for ourselves and embrace our differences, embrace our uniqueness and our unusual features or whatever, like when I was a kid, I looked odd to me. I thought I looked really odd. I had this like very, my cheeks and stuff was just different looking than other kids. And so I guess it was like, I don't know, that Eastern European kind of look or something. I'm not sure. But it's just different. And I always felt just super hideous and really ugly. And I don't know, it's weird because we just get so stuck on what it used to be. We get so stuck on what makes us different. It was like shameful or something. And I think it's, really beautiful for us to move in and own ourselves and own our things that make us different and be proud of ourselves and be proud of our development. And so one of the things is, so yesterday I turned on this movie. Oh, this was so weird. So, these movies, it's the cool thing with the algorithm sometimes, you just have to look for one and then you'll get a whole bunch that will come. So I was getting all these different Lifetime movies, old ones too, really old ones. And this one yesterday I was watching, which was just like, oh my God. One of the things, Robert Ulrich was in it. I don't know if you remember him, but he was a real handsome kind of, star kind of guy for a while. And I was like, I wonder whatever happened to him, I wonder if he's still alive. Did he just stop? Did he get X'd out because, he wouldn't do some bad stuff? I don't know. But anyway, so this movie was old. And it was just funny because the subject matter was exactly what is going on, exactly what is being exposed. And they were putting it right out there. They're showing us right there in all of these movies. So that one, this movie, the premise was people who worked for agencies, so people who were up in the government agencies that were going and kidnapping poor kids and then selling them. In this, they were, you know, oh, it wasn't for their own pocketbook. It wasn't because it was, you know, you make 25,000 bucks. It was because they were going to give them a better life. So, but, you know, in reality, when they do it, it is, yeah, those kids are not getting a better life. It's really bad. So then, it's really fucked, you know, because they really did do that, you know. And have been and still are. And then, but, you know, it was the people who these people trusted to help them were the ones who were doing the crimes. And then this morning, there was one that had popped up. And so I went in to watch it. And the title, I wasn't prepared at all for what was to come. And it was during the time period where women were having to kidnap their kids and escape in the underground. And it became like this underground movement because the judicial was failing these people. Nobody was being helped, and, you know, it was out of control in a lot of people's homes, in a lot of dangerous situations. And a lot of people started escaping their bad situations because there was no police protection and there was no judicial that was, you know, helping or anything. So they started this whole movement, and there was all these people who were kidnapping their kids. So this movie was about one of those women who got caught. And so it starts, she starts telling her story to the Supreme Court or whatever, probably asking for mercy. And then it just goes into the memories to show you what happened. And strangely enough, her husband in this was a comedian actor. I always thought, well, yeah, because he was even when he got older, he was in Hart of Dixie. He's not an actor who would normally do this kind of role. It seems like I think of him more like Animal House or Revenge of the Nerds or something. I'm not even sure which one. I know he was in one of those. I'm not sure which one, but anyways, a comedian actor, and he's in there, and he's just a crazy, raging, wife-beating psychopath. And the thing I was getting out of it was so much about the rage and about how, you know, whatever was going on in him, he would build up this rage, no control of his emotions, and then she became his, you know, his release. So he could blame her. And then, you know, it was her fault. Whatever went on, it was always like 100 degrees above what it should have been, because it was intense emotionally, because he is already charged up, you know, he's already out of his emotions, out of control. And then he would go in and just beat the snot out of this lady. And then when I was watching it, there was points where she's standing there huddled with the children, and he's just punched her in the face while she's holding one, and she's huddling with the kids and begging to just let me just put them in another room, and they're like crying and cowering and looking at him like, you're a fucking monster, and he's looking at them like, he is a monster. And I was like, how many dads have done that? And moms too, I'm sure, because I had just seen in those shows too, it was another one where a guy, his wife was just a psycho, and she was, if they got in a fight, she would get some pan out and slam him in his head and knock him out. And he was trying to hide it. This was another thing I remember us going through. He was trying to hide it. And so, it wasn't manly. And so she's beating the snot out of him. And, just all of these things as a collective, that we've gone through. Because that was a thing. That wasn't just in one house. That whole scenario. And but in that one too, that one, the kid thought that the dad was had the problem. He didn't realize that, you know, the dad's just reacting to the mom trying to get away from her. And so and then that other one where it was showing about the kid being told the truth and how impactful that is for a child. And then so then when you show these other ones where, you know, the kid thinks it's the other parent, and then another one where they're looking at their parent like they're a monster. And how does the parent just stand there? Why does the parent not feel humility? Why does the parent not, you know, all of a sudden see themselves and realize themselves? And it kind of, to me, because there was another movie I watched too, and it has some stuff about Alzheimer's. It's a new one on Hulu. It was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. And it was a crime one that had a lot of stuff about Alzheimer's, and also Castle. Was it surely that show wasn't called Castle Rock. That one, that Stephen King show, was Sissy Spacek, where she also had Alzheimer's. But both of them showed really well how consciousness is going into these other realities. You're in the room, but your consciousness is somewhere else. And, you know, they represent it good in some of these movies. And, but it's kind of the same thing, I think, of this, their consciousness kind of detaching when they are abusing like that, to not see those faces. They're in a different reality. They're in a different mind space. They're not present in that moment. They're not tuned in to how these people are feeling, you know? That's why it's important to become present, because in their mind, they're someplace else. And when he was doing it, I could feel it in my lower chakras, where he was feeling empowered, where his energy and where he was being released. And it was like a sexual release to them, you know? It's like this control and power that they take over, but the release isn't sexual, but it is the same kind of like release. I don't know. I could just, I don't know how it was, but I could like feel in my body what it was that this person was feeling by this emotion or something. It was weird, but I definitely think that a lot of these people, that is why they do it. It is some kind of a release, and it all has to do with our emotions and mastering them and stuff, and how people use these dysfunctional ways to control them, like raging and stuff like that. And it is that lower chakra. It is that reactive place. It's not a healed position to be in. So anyways, I thought, you know, that was really interesting, because I think we need to look at all of these things in a new way. And we have to see, like, this isn't just the cabal who has been doing this. This has been humanity making choices. We, you know, when there's people, because in the next story, so in this one, this was weird too, because I was watching it and he started just pounding this lady. And I've seen this happen to somebody before in person, and I'm more than one person, and I'm one of those people who will jump in and say, stop, this is not okay. And, you know, I've done that. And when it happens, you don't feel like, oh, I'm in danger. You're just like, fuck this. No, you're not going to sit here and beat the snot out of somebody. Like, no, that's not okay. And so when this one, the next one, oh, so that was coming on, it was kind of like, I can't watch this battle, whatever you want me to see from this. If I've already seen it, I can't handle watching this. I don't want to watch someone get beat up. And then the TV went off, that movie went off, they took it off, and then a new one came on. Like, I am telling you, that I just don't think people get, like, there are beings around us who are around us doing stuff and helping us and stuff. So anyways, they changed the channel to another movie, in this other movie. So I didn't know at all what was going to pop up, but I was just like in my head, I knew that whatever it was, they wanted me to see something. So I was watching it, and yeah, it was bringing up a lot of issues. Like they all had the perms, and I was thinking about like, oh my God, no wonder we were all so stupid in the 80s. Fried our freaking antenna. And then she, so she was, you know, this divorcee, and she's going out taking French classes, and a guy in her class decides he likes her or whatever, and then he manipulates her. This whole series of manipulations, you know. Oh no, I just gotta stop here. Just, yeah, we'll just stop there real quick. No, I insist, I'm giving you a ride, you know. You know how many, as women, you know, like, oh my God, I'm being silly. This guy's nice, he's in my class, I'll just go, you know. And then there's plenty of people who used that, perpetrators who used our kindness to defeat us. And, you know, that's all being purged out. But that wasn't the cabal. That was human beings that we interacted with who decided, hey, this is a fucked up system. I'm going to jump on in. I got some fucked up shit to work out. So, so she went with them, and she got totally manipulated, one thing after another. And like, you could see it coming. Like, I don't know, you know, when they show that stuff in movies, like they're always showing our stories, but you know, at this point in time of our development, we would definitely see the red flags. We've seen enough of this stuff to know the red flags, and we'd be like, hell no, I'm not going with you. No, I'm not taking a drink that you buy me either. So, you know, we know now who we have to fear. You know, we're a lot more guarded. So a lot of the stuff wouldn't still happen, but so she went with him, and he wanted to stop at his office, and he gets her up there, and then he, you know, brutally rapes her. And he's a distinguished lawyer, and works in a distinguished firm, who knows how to manipulate the law, who knows how to create evidence. And, you know, we've had a lot of those people in our lives, a lot of those people in this world. And a lot of those people find their place, you know, like, what's a better place if you are a psychopath who wants to kill people? What better place to go than to join the military and work the ranks up to become a general, and then go out and start, you know, creating chaos and be a part of the murder train that they, you know, that they participate in. And, you know, there has been many people who are, you know, carry that kind of chaos killer energy. I mean, like Stalin, Hitler, like, you've got these people who get into power because it moves those people forward, because our system, so it gives those people a place to exist, you know. So, but it's all part of the soul, you know, the soul evolution. You know, things have to be played out so we can see, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. We don't, oh, no, we don't want that. And so it all has purpose and meaning. But this guy, you know, using his power and being able to manipulate the system. And then it brings up so much stuff too about, you know, how Fraude was right there, you know, always from the beginning of, you know, my time as an adult. You know, AIDS was a big thing, you know. And so that is in the movie, of course. And another thing, I haven't finished the movie, but another thing that comes up from that we allowed into our reality was rapists who could get custody. Where did we ever think that's okay? Like, there's so many things in our society that we were just willing to accept. To just be like, well, that's just the way it is, you know. And we're watching people do that, and it's disgusting us. Like, that they were just like, well, that's the way it is. Just do what we're supposed to do. And we were all been doing it, you know. We've all been doing it. That's why it's so crazy when people want to keep on attacking the people who aren't all the way awake yet. You know, because we've all been, you know, slaves to this system, slaves to the agenda. and we've all participated, and some more than others. So yeah, when the people who have criminal intent get into these places of power, and they see how much power that they can really have over people, and how much manipulation, and it's all stuff for us to learn from, I mean, there's purpose to all of it. So, there's, to me, we just have to move past it. But I think it's important for us to recognize some of this stuff so that we don't just get all caught up in like this was, just these kidnappers that held us for ransom has been the whole problem in our whole lives. It's just a multitude of situations and lessons that have all come together to create this time period. So, and it is all for our evolution. So, it is just, I think it has such great value to recognize and heal, but to don't get stuck. And, oh, my whole life was wasted. If this cabal wouldn't have been there, I could have just done so much more, and there's going to be a lot of that. And a lot of people just really hung up because, I mean, as part of the progression, like even as the development of a human baby, they go through that process of getting to the point of like, well, if my environment would have been better, I could have been better. And, it's just part of our process. But, for anybody who is really focused on their healing, it is just part of the process. It's just one of the stones to step on to cross the river. Don't stay there and block the way for others. Just, go to the next stone. Just work your way through the process. And, don't get stuck anywhere. That is just a huge important thing, because I think humans really get stuck a lot. We just get glitched out. We just get stuck. It's like a broken record, just But, we're learning, we're developing, we're becoming more. There was a couple more things I wanted to say too. How long have I been talking? 47 minutes. Let's see. Oh, too. Also in this movie with the rape thing, it brought up a lot of stuff about humility and stuff was like the way we looked at sex back then was very different. Like I was raised at a time when, like, if you had sex with 5 people, you were a whore. You may as well just go sell yourself on the street. And now we're in this place in our development where it's like, oh, if you've slept with 250, it's like, catch up, sister. I got 50 more than you. I'm out there. I'm doing it, girl. So we've got this, we swung one way and we're swinging the other way, but we're going to come to a place of balance, and it's going to come from within all of us. It's like, it's when people recognize, like, man, yeah, I could go and sleep with like 10 people a day, but why don't I feel better? Why do I just feel shittier every time I go and, and that's what people have to find for themselves. Like it's an empty way to try and fulfill yourself, is just go bang it out on everybody, So, let me see if there was some other stuff, because when I write, this is what I do. This is like, when I say I need to go in and edit my journals, I'm not shitting you. I'll start going in different directions. I'm like, and some of it too, when you start doing automatic writing, you're just like, and it's so messy. It's very slanty and messy and really fast. And so you have to go in and be like, what is that word? And but I'm down to, I should be finished today with my, my last 2 things. And then I just got to do the finishing touches, just sew the little snaps on for the little furry things. They like the little ski bunny hats. So sew the little snaps on and sew the little tags. I got these cute little tags made with love, and it has a heart. But because, even on my paintings, before, when I very first started, they said, well, you shouldn't use symbols, and you should only use your name, and it should be done this way, that way, blah, blah. And after my brain injury, all the rules changed for me. I was like, fuck that rule, fuck that rule. Why do you have that rule? But I started signing all my paintings back. Like if you go in and you see the oil paintings, the ones I did pre brain injury and then post brain injury as acrylics. And just my style changed. It's just a lot more folk arty. The other was a lot more like Mary Cassatt was my favorite. It was a lot more traditional kind of. So, anyways, what was I gonna say about that with the art? What the hell was I about to say? The signing it. So then I started signing it with, I write Kelly, but then I just do a heart instead of my name. So I started doing that on a lot of things, just putting the symbol, the symbol of heart. My Lord, so dramatic. So I sign it with a Kelly heart symbol. So when I got the little heart symbol to put on all of the little hats I was making, that was why, because it was like, oh, that's my symbol. Yeah, it's made with love. It's made for me. And it's really cool too, is because when you're making something like that, and you're sitting there for hours and hours and hours, you're putting intention, you're putting energy into it. And like you can put thoughts and stuff into it. You can put like something you want them to think, and it's threaded right in, and then they're putting it right on their head. And we really all should be thinking and considering a lot more, like over who's making our clothes, who's making our clothes, and what is their mood. So, but I think, we're headed towards that kind of way of thinking, of really starting to understand more about energy and intention. And, you can't have slaves making your clothes. You might not feel good. So, let me see. Yeah, like on an abusive people, like in the way of abusive, it is they can abuse you as to the point of where you allow them, and not in the way like, because there's so many people being abused, so many, and and I've been in those situations. And so when somebody says, hey, it's only happening because you're allowing it, that's not what I mean. It is, but to a sense, it is true. Because once you learn your value, you won't put up with anybody's shit. So these people will keep pushing and pushing and pushing towards your boundaries, and they will, become the beast that you allow them. And that isn't to say that you allow all people to be the beast. If someone's a beast, it's only because of you. Don't take that on. It's them. But we allow these people into our lives. And we try and please these people. We try and get these people to be nicer to us and stuff. And when we start going like, there's a lot of people like, in abusive situations. And, I'm not trying to shame anybody. But when we start recognizing like, yeah, they were showing us the whole time. They were showing us red flags from the first date. And we just kept going. And we kept accepting more and more and more. And then we get ourselves into a really tight, hairy situation that we don't know how to get out of. And it is when you learn to be like your own power and your own love for yourself, that you will not accept anything other than to take care of yourself. And it is very empowering. And that is one thing with all of those different people who are saying stuff like on the TikTok thing and stuff. And I talked about this like a week and a half ago. And another thing that was weird is because I was thinking the other day, the day before, so she did this yesterday, the day before, I was thinking, where in my house could I video? My house is tiny. It's and it's way too cold outside. But I was like, where could I videotape myself, like in a swimsuit or something? Because I had watched another Paulina thing, and it's very empowering for women to, they've beat us down for a long time. Like you don't have a period, you're dried up, go on. You have no value anymore. And so, it was a thing talking about that and stuff. And a lot of the stuff that was being said, I think it was like a 10-minute thing, but a lot of the stuff being said, I was like, yeah, we need to have more more of us out there, more role models, like showing girls, like, no, aging does not mean that you are aging out. You're progressing, you're becoming better, you are developing yourself. And so, in the swimsuit thing, I mean, I'm in pretty good shape, and I don't go to the gym. I just use stuff in the house to exercise, but it wasn't for that. And that always, kind of makes it, but it was more of like showing my tattoos and stuff, but just showing my whole self, because it was about 60 is what you make it. Be who you want to be. If you want to be, a crazy long-haired tattooed lady, then be one. Don't hold yourself back from being who you want to be, and don't feel like because you're old you have to be, oh, I got to cut all my hair off. Oh, got to have the short silver hair. I don't have a period, so therefore, it's time that I become a man, and be discounted. Don't, no, the society no longer values me. And the more of us women who stand up and say, hey, I'm viable. I'm still here. I'm still living my life. And that gives these girls role models, It gives girls that, like 60 doesn't mean I'm old. 60 doesn't mean anything. It's just the amount of time that I've spent here learning. So, anyways, I just thought it was funny, because then my daughter showed this video that was like unveiling that side of me, because a lot of them I'm in my shorts and stuff, and that was one thing that people were really noticing, like this old lady with the tattoos, like, I want to be an old lady with tattoos. I want my mom to be an old lady, when people were, and I think it is more about the just being free with yourself or something. A lot of the younger people, are like that. Like I said, to them, I was raised where like, oh, you slept with 5 people, you whore. And now it's like, what? 300? Catch up. So things are so much different. But I think that, that we need to re-idealize aging and everything, because they've been so much of wanting us to just they only want our prime years and the prime sexual years, way down there, but they only want our prime working years. The other years they just want us to go, so they get it in our heads, in our consciousness, because we create the world that they tell us to create. And so now it is turning to, empowering ourselves. Don't feel shame. Feel proud of yourself. And, it's our worst nightmare. But it is so much about, we accept, if somebody's bullying you and you accept it and you think like, oh, what did I do wrong? I should have done it, instead of being like, I'm never going around that person again. I will not ever set foot in a room with someone like that, because I mean, in this society that we've been living, that person very well have the people back in the room again, being just the same, and then go over and start hitting on the girl who he decides on, and then she's just like, okay, oh, he likes me, he's not going to be mean to me now, he likes me. Sometimes they even jump on the bandwagon and start being mean to other people. And those are all our stuff. That's our own development. But yeah, there's lots of people who got themselves in a situation with these kind of bully people, and we allowed certain behaviors, and then, got out of control, got out of hand. They don't know how to monitor their feelings and their emotions. They don't know how to master them themselves. And and this is where we stop accepting it. We start saying, no, we are developing as a society. We're developing as individuals. We are going to create a different kind of world where it's not acceptable. We all set the same standard. We've been setting the same standard. It's just been low as fuck. Now it's time for us to set a high standard for ourselves and know our worth and know our value, and to love ourselves so that we can go and have healthy relationships that are productive, that we learn from each other without having this anger and control, and you know, it's just been so toxic and so dysfunctional for so many people, you know. And it is like, when we get this new world, it's like, happy birthday to me, you know. We're going to be in a whole new world. It is going to be exciting. Oh, this is the other thing. I knew there was something else I wanted to say. I might not have said as much stuff as I want about all of the different things. There might be more stuff, but one of the other things too is, so this morning I had seen a thing. It was some update thing. I hadn't seen one of those in a long time, and it was about the financial thing. So I went and watched it, and it was it was people who I recognized their voice. So, but I don't know who it is. I don't know her channel, because like I said, they're still doing that. There's certain channels that just go in and get this information and just keep releasing it. So, but apparently YouTube is letting people back on. So I think there's a lot of shifts that we're seeing. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes for sure. But in this one, it was talking about that. And all this stuff is already going down with the financial stuff, it said, as of the beginning of this year. And it said January 20th that I don't know, the old banks are going to close. They're doing something with some of the banks. They're going to still be banks, only like if you keep your money in there, which it's going to be different kind of money. We're not having the same currency. And it's already started in other places. Like there's already footage out there of Putin saying it live. And so all of the different countries, and also Iran now. And that was, I think, one of the last holdouts or something. I think they were waiting to a certain point or something. But so Iran now, so all of these different countries are on board, and everything is moving full speed ahead. And but some of the banks will continue to be banks, but they were saying something like we'll get 7% interest. So I don't know how it's all going to work, like how we would get interest, but when it all goes down, it should take away all of the debt, because the banking system is, you know, imploding. So it should be that there will be, you know, no debt. So hopefully that does happen by, you know, I mean, today's the 17th. So hopefully it is the 20th, and, you know, that happens. And it could very well be, too, because they were saying still about the media, everything changing on that, too. And the TV, all the stations going down while this quantum system is put more in place, because we're moving into a completely different kind of world. You know, this quantum thing is moving us into a highly sophisticated, technologically advanced kind of way of being. So it's super exciting, but there's many people who are like, as the old stuff is going, they're going to be in a panic, you know. It's scary for change, especially when it's such a big change and it's just bumper to bumper, you know, one thing after another. So people are on the raw edge of their nerves, and this collapse is going to freak a lot of people out. So it should be, you know, everything. And I don't know that it will all happen at once, but it's going to definitely be a domino. Once it starts, it's all going to just keep going. But, oh, and also it said, one thing is there was a huge false flag that was going to happen in January, which, man, there's been one after another. But it was a really big, bad one. And the Alliance stopped it. And, so kind of made me think, and I don't know, I mean, we still got to watch and see how things play out, but that there was something big and bad coming that was going to wake everybody up. But, you know, they can wake people up with the good thing too. So, yeah, if the money all of a sudden does that, that would be a huge wake up. You know, people would really start paying attention. And, you know, I would really prefer that to our Hawaii moment of something good. You know, something that's being better for humans, and something exciting for people to look forward to. And then they can start healing, you know, their painful attitude that they had to carry and grow through. So, you know, I don't know how it's going to play out, and I'm still hopeful. I mean, we've heard these dates and numbers and all this stuff before, but I mean, legitimately, China's already is bankrupt. I mean, in the courts and stuff. America is already in the courts. I mean, there's all these places are bankrupt. There is no money. They keep tossing this paper around and they keep moving stuff around in the computer, but none of it's real. It's all fake. So, and it can't keep going. I mean, everything has to play itself out. So, it's going to happen, even if it doesn't happen this week. But hopefully it is this week. Oh my God, that'd be so exciting, because I think, we all have really high hopes for 2022 of being a whole new situation for us all. We're all ready to move into a new way of being. And, all of their infrastructure is collapsing. Everything is, gonna fall apart. They can't hold it together. So hopefully it is gonna play out that way. It all just remains to be seen. But so they may take down all the media, where you can't access anything for 10 days. That's what they keep saying. I don't know. I mean, if they just got rid of a big giant false flag, then things, can still go in other directions. Not in the direction that it can all of a sudden be, oh no, we're going to be Armageddon and they won and now, no, that's not what I mean. It's already written. It's already happening. That is going to happen. This is going to end and something new is going to begin. It's the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. And that is just, how cycles work. Especially when you got this one that has so much toxic stuff that nobody wants any part of. Nobody even wants to face it in themselves. Nobody wants to see their bad side. Nobody wants to live in this toxic world. This is hell. We want to make it heaven. So that's up to us. We're the changers. We're the creators. We're the ones that are going to manifest. We're the ones who take this world to the new place. It's us, So, anyways, maybe this week will be really significant in our progress. So if things occur, just stay, centered and keep yourself stable, do what feels good for you to keep yourself sane through whatever happens, because it can still, be scary, especially in some places where people are very reactive. And, there still can be some cities burning down and stuff. So just, stay alert, stay safe. Keep yourself paying attention to what's going on around you. Don't just go and bury your head in the sand and, hide away from it all. Because, yeah, who wouldn't want to Rumpelstiltskin this shit? Like, fuck yeah. I wish we could just go to sleep and sleep right through it and somebody wake me up when it's all over. But, then we would wake up and we'd go right back and do the same shit. We have to see it. We have to witness it. We have to see how things play out so that we can understand and learn so that we can make changes. So let me just look again real quick. There was another, I've got such scribble on here. That's so funny. And what we all accept and what we accept. It is all about what we accept is all about, how we value ourselves. And, oh, that was something else I had already written about the terror on the kids' faces. But yeah, when you raise your value, you stop accepting people to devalue you. And you just stop being around people who don't value you as you value yourself. But, it's a process to learn to value yourself. So, that's what we're here for. So anyways, now it's almost an hour and 10. So have a great day. I'll talk to you later.